I paid for my mother's emergency surgery with my entire savings. 6 months later, at Thanksgiving, she raised a glass and thanked my brother for always being her rock. I choked on my drink, staring as everyone applauded him. 2 years later, when he vanished and left her with nothing, she finally called me, but I was done saving people who only remember me when they're desperate. I was always the other kid. The one who followed the rules. The one who stayed quiet. My younger brother Mason was the opposite. Loud, reckless, charming when it helped him. We grew up in Roanoke, Virginia, with just our mom after Dad walked out. She worked long shifts as a nurse and came home too tired to deal with much. But even on her worst days, she had endless patience for Mason. He could break a window, steal from her purse, come home high, and she'd hug him, feed him, tell me to give him space. Boys will be boys, she used to say. He's got a good heart. Meanwhile, I got scolded if I forgot to take out the trash. When I turned 18, I left. Got a scholarship, moved to Richmond, and worked my way through college. I didn't call home much, and when I did, Mom always asked how Mason was doing. Not me. Him. She'd say, "You know your brother's trying. He's got some new idea. He just needs someone to believe in him." I worked 2 jobs after college. Ate ramen, skipped vacations, and slowly built up a savings account. By 30, I had close to 60 grand tucked away. I was proud of that. It made me feel safe. Then I got the call. It was a nurse from the hospital. Mom had collapsed. Blocked arteries. They said she wouldn't make it without immediate surgery. I dropped everything. Told my boss I had to go. Drove straight to Roanoke. She was barely conscious when I got there. Tubes in her arms. Oxygen mask on her face. The doctor explained the surgery, the risks, and the cost. Her insurance would only cover part of it. Someone had to pay the rest. Mason wasn't there. No one else stepped up. So I paid it. Every last dollar in my account. $58,300. I slept in a chair by her bed for 6 nights. I fed her ice chips. I helped the nurses move her when she was too weak. I took phone calls from billing. Mason showed up on day 6. Waltzed in with that same smile, reeking of weed and cheap cologne, acting like he'd just flown in from a business trip. "Hey, Ma. Knew you'd be okay." She burst into tears when she saw him. Reached for him with both arms like he was her savior. She barely nodded at me. He stayed for half an hour, cracked some jokes, posted a selfie with her on Facebook, then left. 6 months later, Thanksgiving. I came home, brought dessert. Sat in the same old house with the same worn furniture. I didn't expect a parade, but I thought maybe she'd say something about what I'd done. Even just a thank you. Dinner went on. Small talk. Laughter. Then she stood up, holding a wine glass. "I just want to say something," she said, smiling around the table. "This year's been hard. Real hard. But I had someone who stuck by me. My rock. My boy." She looked right at Mason. "Thank you for always being there." The table clapped. Someone actually said, "Aw." I choked on my wine. Sat there coughing into my napkin while everyone toasted Mason like he was a hero. I looked at him. He just grinned and shrugged. After dinner, I pulled her aside. "Why would you say that?" I asked. She blinked at me. "What?" "I paid for your surgery. I was the one who sat by your bed. Mason didn't even show up until it was over." She waved a hand. "Don't be so sensitive. I didn't mean anything by it." She meant every word. She just didn't care how it made me feel. I stopped coming home after that. Kept my distance. Rebuilt my savings. Focused on work. I stopped answering most of her calls. I knew how it would go. 10 minutes of small talk, then stories about Mason and his latest plan to start a crypto company or open a gym or rent out vending machines. She'd say, "You know your brother's got potential. He just needs support." And I'd say, "I've already given more than enough." Then she'd get quiet. Change the subject. 2 years went by. Then, one night, my phone rang. 2:08 a.m. I answered on instinct. She was crying. Panicked. "Jeremy. He's gone." "Who?" "Mason. He took everything. My bank account's empty. My retirement, it's gone. He stole my car. I can't get in touch with him." I didn't say anything. "I don't know what to do," she sobbed. "Please, I need you." I sat there, staring at the wall. Finally I said, "I warned you." She started crying harder. "He said he was investing it. He said he was making it grow for me." "I didn't know." "No," I said. "You didn't care." "Jeremy, please, I paid to save your life. You erased me from the story. Now you want me to fix what your golden boy broke?" Silence. "I'm done," I said. "I don't have anything left for you." Then I hung up. She called again. Left voicemails. Texted. Begged. But I never replied. Because for once in my life, I chose me. The texts kept coming. "Please. Just help me figure out what to do. I don't have money for rent this month. He took my phone, my car, even my laptop. I can't get into my accounts." I read them all. Every desperate word. And I felt nothing. Well, not exactly nothing. I felt anger, sure. But it was cold now. Numb. Like frostbite. Not hot and raging like before. The old me would have gone back. Helped her file reports. Wired her money. Set her up with a place to stay. But that version of me died in that hospital room when she looked at Mason like he was a hero. She didn't just forget what I did. She rewrote it. Still, I had questions. Where was Mason? It didn't take much digging. I knew his old friend Tommy still lived in Roanoke. Guy was always trying to sound like a gangster but couldn't hold a job for more than 2 weeks. I shot him a message through Facebook. He replied quick. "Yo bro, long time. You looking for Maze?" "Yeah. Heard he skipped town." Tommy sent back a laughing emoji. Then, "Dude's in Atlanta. Said he's running a business. LMAO. Prob dealing. He owes me $600. Of course. I started watching Mason's socials. He hadn't posted in a while, but his girlfriend had. Some girl named Shayla. Way younger. Bleach blonde, lips like balloons. She was tagging him in all sorts of posts: fancy dinners, rooftop bars, hotel pools. He hadn't just taken mom's money. He was burning it fast. A week later, I got another call from mom. I ignored it. Then came a message, "I'm being evicted." Still I stayed silent. Then another, "The police are looking for him. They think I helped him." I didn't. I didn't know. And then one that stopped me cold: he used my name to take out loans. Credit cards. My score's destroyed. I can't even get a job now. I stared at that message for a long time. She'd always chosen him. Always believed him. Let him live off her, lie to her, use her. And now he'd turned her name into a dumpster fire and vanished. I knew the pain of being invisible to your own mother. Now, she was feeling it too. Then, out of nowhere, my Aunt Marcia called. We hadn't talked in years. She was Mom's older sister. "Jeremy," she said. "What the hell is going on with your mother?" "I don't know. Ask her golden boy. I'm serious. She's been staying on my couch for 3 days. She smells like she hasn't showered in weeks. Says she's broke. Crying all the time. I said nothing. She told me what Mason did. But I gotta ask, how the hell did she let it get that bad? Why didn't she come to you sooner? I almost laughed. She did. But only after he drained her dry. Marcia sighed. I'm not saying you should forgive her. But she's not well, Jeremy. I think this finally broke her. Then maybe she'll finally understand what it feels like. A pause. Then, just, don't be cruel. I hung up. 3 days later, I got another text. It wasn't from Mom. It was from Shayla. Hey. I know you don't know me, but I'm Mason's girl. Or, was. I think he's using me too. I found your number in his stuff. I'm scared. That was new. I replied. She told me Mason had started acting strange. Paranoid. Said people were after him. She caught him going through her purse, checking her phone while she slept. She thought he was cheating, too. And then one night, he left with her car and didn't come back. He said he was going to Miami, she wrote. But he left his laptop. I think there's stuff on it. Maybe stuff you should see. I gave her a burner email. A day later, I had the files. It was worse than I thought. Fake credit cards. Loan documents with Mom's name forged. Emails to people about crypto ventures that were clearly scams. Venmo receipts from people who thought they were investing in a new business. He wasn't just stealing. He was committing serious fraud. Under Mom's name. And under mine. I felt my stomach drop. There it was, a loan application with my name and social security number. The signature wasn't mine. He'd forged it. Now I wasn't just watching from the sidelines. He dragged me into this mess. I didn't sleep that night. I stared at my phone, flipping through screenshots Shayla had sent me. My name. My SSN. Mason had somehow gotten into my old documents. Maybe Mom still had copies in her house. I'd sent her paperwork years ago to help with taxes, FAFSA, bills. I never thought she'd let it fall into the wrong hands. Now I was looking at proof that my own brother had stolen my identity. I called my bank. Froze my credit. Contacted all 3 credit bureaus. Filed fraud reports. Spent hours untangling things I didn't even know he'd touched. It felt like being robbed by a ghost. Then I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. Atlanta area code. I let it go to voicemail. His voice hit me like a punch in the chest. Yo, Ja. I know you're mad. Look, it got out of control. I was gonna pay you back, man. I didn't mean to mess with your name. I just needed some float money for a few deals. I swear I was gonna fix it. He sounded high. Or maybe drunk. Anyway, I'm laying low for a bit. Just wanted you to know I got a plan. You'll get your cut. I promise. Your cut. Like I was part of it. Like I had a stake in his scams. I wanted to throw the phone against the wall. Instead, I saved the voicemail. A week later, I got a certified letter from a law firm. Mom was being sued by a collections agency. $26,000. Mason had taken out a personal loan under her name and never paid a dime. She'd ignored the letters. Now they were coming for everything. Marcia called again. She's falling apart, she said. She's not eating. She barely speaks. She let him do it, I said. I know. But she didn't know how deep he went. She didn't want to know. Marcia was quiet. Then she said something that stuck with me. You were always the one doing right. But you also always wanted her to finally see it. Maybe now she does. I didn't answer. But I started thinking. I drove back to Roanoke for the first time in over a year. Marcia met me in the driveway. She's inside. Mom looked like a different person. Smaller. Hair thinning. Wrinkles deeper. She was sitting on the old couch in sweats that didn't fit. Her hands trembled when she saw me. "Jeremy," she whispered. I didn't know he'd go that far. "You never wanted to know." I was trying to believe in him. I thought if I gave him one more chance, you gave him your life. She broke down crying. Covered her face like a child. I thought I was being a good mother. "You were his mother," I said. "Not his savior. Not his doormat." She looked up at me, tears streaking down her face. "I ruined everything, didn't I?" I sat down across from her. The same chair where I used to do homework as a kid. "No," I said. "But you let someone else do it for you." She nodded slowly. Didn't even try to defend herself. That was new. I spent the night in the old guest room. The place was a mess. Bills everywhere. Empty pill bottles. The fridge had barely any food. I didn't pity her. But I saw something I hadn't seen before: regret. And real fear. The next morning, I made a decision. I called a lawyer. I sent the files Shayla gave me. I handed over the voicemail. I gave a full statement. I didn't do it for Mom. Not exactly. I did it for me. To clear my name. To draw a line. To make Mason finally answer for what he'd done. But I didn't expect what happened next. It took 3 weeks for the case to move forward. Turns out, I wasn't the only one Mason had stolen from. The lawyer I hired got in touch with others. A couple from Georgia, a man in Tennessee, even a teenage kid who'd sent Mason his college fund thinking it was an investment. Mason had been running a scam ring using fake LLCs, stolen identities, and charm. Lots of charm. But what nailed him wasn't the victims. It was the voicemail. The forged documents. The laptop Shayla gave me. The FBI got involved. By the time they tracked him down in Miami, he was broke, high, and hiding in some rundown motel with a fake ID and a duffel bag full of burner phones. He didn't resist. He couldn't. I watched the court case unfold from the back row. Mom sat next to me. She wore a black blazer that didn't quite fit, hands trembling in her lap. She didn't say a word during the entire trial. I did. I gave a victim statement. I told the court how my brother had stolen my identity, ruined my credit, nearly cost me my job. How he used our mother's trust as a weapon. How he left her with nothing but debt and shame. Mason didn't even look at me. He just stared at the table like it might disappear. He got 12 years. Federal prison. No parole. After the sentencing, Mom turned to me in the hallway. "I know I don't deserve anything from you," she said. "But I want to say it anyway. I'm sorry. For all of it." I didn't answer right away. Then I said, "You should have seen me before it came to this." She nodded. "I see you now." That didn't fix things. But it was something. Over the next few months, I helped her. Slowly. Not with money but with structure. I helped her file bankruptcy. Find a social worker. Get on a waiting list for low-income housing. I made sure she had food. I even set her up with a therapist. But I never moved back. I never let her call me my rock or pretend the past hadn't happened. Because it had. And I wasn't her savior. I was the son who saved her life once. And she forgot. She never forgot Mason. Not until he destroyed her. And when he did, I didn't take revenge by screaming or fighting or throwing money at the problem. I took revenge by walking away until it burned. And when she finally felt the heat, I didn't offer water. I offered truth. That's the part she never saw coming. And that's why it stuck.